Hello, my name is Christina.
My name is Sarah.
And I'm Laura.
Do you know what latent learning is?
Are you scared because your exam is coming up and you're not sure?
Well, luckily we're here to help.
Latent learning was discovered during a study run by Tolman. In the study, Tolman realized that there is learning that happens when there is no reinforcement being given. This discovery challenged the belief that learning only happens when there is the type of reinforcement or punishment. That is why latent learning is not something that is immediately expressed.
To talk further about latent learning, we should talk about Tolman's study and how he discovered latent learning. The study consists of 3 groups of rats, and these rats had to go through a maze to test his theory. In group 1, the rats were reinforced every time they reached the goal box. In group 2, the rats were never reinforced for reaching the goal box. And in group 3, the rats were not reinforced for reaching the goal box until the 11th day. The results were that group 3 on the 11th day received a reward as a reinforcement. They started showing the same speed improvement as group 1 did. This shows that the rats in group 3 have been learning the entire time. The reward shows the observer that the group 3 rats have been learning.
You're right, Sarah. There is no latent learning without the experiment that Tolman did. To show more examples on how the discovery of latent learning changed the view on how learning can help without the reinforcement in the article. Test of 2 hypotheses of latent learning by John Sewer, William Datel, and Nizam Levi. The first hypothesis is that there is no difference in where the rats find the food if the food is given to the rats before the trial starts. The rat will take the correct path faster, and the speed response of the rat to the correct path will increase. The second hypothesis of the study is that latent learning is place related, that the rat learns from trials that were not rewarded by food before the trial starting. And the knowledge of the trial is what increases the speed of response to the maze. The result were that indeed the rats learn more from doing the trials over and over and learning the maze.
Yeah, and to show latent learning in another setting, research conducted by Nigel Franks, James Hooper, and Anna Dornhaus in the article Reconnaissance and Latent Learning in Ants talks about how ants show latent learning ability because they can gather and store information about new nest sites even when a new nest site is not immediately needed. When one is needed, the ants show the ability to recall what information they have stored and use it to pick a new nest site.
And you might be wondering, are all latent learning studies conducted with animals? It is amazing the variety of animal studies out there, but there are examples of latent learning research with people as well. Take the study entitled Latent Learning in Children by Harold W. Stevenson, for example. He conducted a reward-driven experiment with 3 groups of children, each containing kids ranged 3 to 7 years old. Researchers used a V-shaped maze with 2 boxes at each end, one locked blue box with a reward inside, and one yellow unlocked box where a key was placed amongst a bunch of irrelevant objects, and one object researchers labeled the test object. The difference between how the kids interacted with the test object determined each of the 3 experimental groups. The key to the boxes would be either attached to, under, or inside the test object. The goal for all the kids, of course, was to unlock the blue boxes to get to the reward inside. The researchers' goal, however, was to see how well the children remembered the test objects. This is where latent learning comes in. By asking the kids to bring one of the test objects back, they could determine whether they were learning those objects' locations even though their goal had been to get the key for the reward. So in this experiment, latent learning presented itself through multiple interactions with secondary objects, rather than through multiple runs through a maze like the original Tolman studies.
Hopefully now you can teach your classmates about latent learning and you can get an awesome grade in your exam. Goodbye!
Bye!